Hey, Elliott here from Bow River Troutfitters, and today I'd like to talk to you about what I wish I knew before fishing southern Alberta mountain streams. So in southern Alberta, our mountain stream season starts June 16th. Chris and I are up here right now, middle of July, and while it's not early season on the calendar, we had a very late spring. It was cold, lots of rain, late season snow, and while the water is higher and colder than we'd like right now, the stoneflies are hatching quite prolifically. See, these mountain streams are really the place to come and enjoy dry fly fishing. The fish are always eager to come to the surface, and that's why we like to come up here. These are not the Bow River on a tough day. There's no need for double nymph rigs under an indicator. You know, it's kind of an unwritten rule or a gentleman's agreement between us and the fish that we'll leave that out of the equation, but on a tough day, on a cold day, does it pay to put a dropper underneath a large foam stonefly or a stimulator? Well, yes, but it's not something we would tell our friends about, basically. Most of our mountain streams here in southern Alberta, we're looking at west slope cutthroat trout, and you know, it's a very bright sunny day today, and normally people wouldn't associate that with really good dry fly fishing, but here in this type of territory, it really does help get the fish moving because it warms up the water throughout the day. Early season up here in the mountains is really the time to throw some of the largest dry flies in your box. And when Chris and I got here this morning, we could tell, you know, it was maybe going to be a bit slower start than we had anticipated. Luckily, we saw some very large stoneflies being active on the water, and so what we did was we offered them those large dry flies, and often offering them a larger meal is what's going to convince them to come to the surface to feed.
So Elliott, tell the viewers at home what kind of rods they should bring.
Well, for cutthroat trout on streams like the one we're on today, 3 and 4 weights are absolutely appropriate for that. If you were working up a much smaller, steeper creek, then 2 weights can be a lot of fun for those smaller fish that you're going to find in those smaller waters. And if you were looking to fish for bull trout in some of these larger pools, a 6 or 7 weight to throw those larger streamers with a fast sink tip line, that would be appropriate. If I only had one rod to fish for mountain cutthroat, that would be my 8.5-foot 4 weight. I can do a lot with it. I can throw fairly large dry flies. Of course, I can throw very small dry flies, and I can also add droppers if I feel I need to, but that for me is the best all-around fly rod on these rivers. So the mountains, they're all about summertime, they're all about dry fly, and when we come up here, we're wet wading. As you can see on a day like today, if you were wearing waders, you'd be suffering. So what we like to do is we like to wear good quality wading footwear, Vibram soles, because you'll be in and out of the water making a few miles, and quick dry pants, sunwear, keep the sun off of you. Don't forget the sunscreen. You know, every once in a while you might need to apply some bug spray, but one thing you should always have with you as well is bear spray. Now, while there's lots of water that's easily accessible here up in these mountain streams, you know, sometimes when you want to get away from the crowds a little bit, you're going to have to make a few miles, and it's important to know your limitations. It's hot, it's dry, you're going to be in and out of the water, and oftentimes if you're going to get away from the crowds, you're going to have to go up and down some pretty steep embankments and cross the river a couple of times. So, you know, if you're unsure of your wading ability, and if you're going to be alone especially, make sure you have lots of food and water, and make sure you let people know where you're going to be. So did Chris and I catch fewer fish today because we were falling behind other anglers? Maybe. Did we catch a few really good quality fish on dry flies? Absolutely. Now, when we were passed by those anglers, you know, we can only guess as to how far ahead they went before they started fishing again. You know, for us, etiquette dictates that if you're going to pass some anglers on the river, that you get far enough ahead of them or below them. That leaves them a few pools to fish to themselves. You're going to get on a fresh piece of water, you're going to have a great day, and you're going to also help other people enjoy their day as well. That's how we like to look at it. Is everyone going to do that? No. Should everybody do that? Maybe. Thanks for joining us today. We hope we've answered some of your questions about fishing the mountain streams. If you have any more specific questions, please just leave them in the comments section and we'll get around to them. Please subscribe to our channel, and as always, we appreciate you coming to visit us at bowrivertroutfitters.com. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again next time.